suppressing institutions that are meant to balance power. Another lie, enemies lurk among you. Yesterday it was the Jews, the Roma, the dissenters, the intellectuals. Today it's migrants, Muslims, journalists, or political opponents. The tactic hasn't changed. Divide the populace so it never unites against tyranny. Another lie, information is dangerous. Germany had a ministry of propaganda led by Joseph Goebbels. Now disinformation floods social feeds while leaders call verified data fake news. Controlling perception still matters more than governing reality. Another lie, scapegoats explain everything. Then it was degenerates and traitors, and now it's stories of Somali fraud and migrant crime, often false or exaggerated. Lies redirect anger from the powerful to the powerless. Another lie, expansion makes us great. The dream of Lebensraum, justified invasion. Today talk of buying Greenland or manipulating Venezuela masks the same fantasy of imperial entitlement. Another lie, laws don't apply to us. From bypassing constitutions to ignoring subpoenas, authoritarians erode norms one breach at a time. When followers cheer lawlessness, democracy cracks. Another lie, this can't happen here. Germans thought that their culture, their intellect, their institutions were somehow immune. They weren't. No democracy is. Once truth becomes optional and lies become habitual. If you are still listening, remember this. Propaganda depends on disbelief. Not that you believe the lie, but that you stop believing anything. I'll be back.
Okay.
My friends, 10 lies Germans were told.
Okay, the person's name is, what's her name? I don't know. Somebody
put her name in the chat.
Yeah. I'm gonna find it really quick here. But it just leans towards what what we've been seeing. And you know, not to
read any books?
Yeah, she speaks sie Deutsch.
Deutschland does Nazis.
No, not everybody, I don't think. You know, what is her name?
Melissa what?
Francis Fisher.
Francis Fisher.
I don't know if that's the person. Let me see if it's in the chat, but yeah, I think that's her name. Yeah. Melissa. Yeah, Melissa Dalton
right?
Bradford. Yeah.
What's her name?
Melissa Dalton Bradford. And she goes on the Instagram as MBD Global
last name.
Melissa Dalton Bradford, MBD Global Mom. Yeah.
She's really good. I've heard her speak a lot.
Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, man, this is something that we need to think about. You know, division always always helps the other guy. Trust me. If you could divide, and you can conquer, and you don't want that. We don't want to divide. I mean, we've already been dividing over years. Democrat, Republicans, blah, 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 blah. You know, now we're to the point where people are like, well, the Democrats not even that. They're not all of that. And the Republicans are not all that. It's like we got another subdivision in the subdivision. You know, so I'm like, what are we going? What are we doing?
Yeah, the people are immensely powerful. I heard a statistic today that gave me some perspective. All the military personnel, plus all the police personnel, and all the various FBI, etc., is about 1% of the population. And it's an enormous country.
It is 1%. I wouldn't think it was that much. That many.
Whatever it is, it's a tiny percentage of all the people.
Yeah.
So when Trump pulled in 3,000 troops or ICE agents or Border Patrol, whatever they were, It was, I think, 4 times as large as the Minneapolis Police Department. But if you take 3,000 and divide it by the population of metropolitan Minneapolis-St. Paul, it'd be a small number.
Yeah.
And so our society depends on communication and trust. And that's what's made us so powerful all through these decades.
Say that last part again.
That's what's made us so powerful since World War II, was that we had a peaceful country, and the markets were stable, the laws were obeyed, and things were predictable. And so people all over the world invested their assets here because it was a safe place to have your wealth. And now it's become, an ongoing crisis, and that's the period we're going through. Is trying to sort this out and get to the other side. And in my view, we need to turn to each other, help each other, and we can have so much more than we have now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. We do need to. Go ahead.
Okay, that's maybe a little bit piggyback over Barry, but we're letting foreign governments buying up our food chain, and then they're going to control like a monopoly. Like Smithfield, this Chinese owned. We have the very few companies control all the food in the U.S.
But when you say control, what do you mean by control?
That they control the supply and the demand.
Well, I mean, that's why we have competition. We have free market.
Yeah, but everybody's controlling the big corporations are buying up farmland.
We have other people that produce and manufacture.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they want to buy up the little guys. Look at what the farmers are doing now. They're selling their farmland to solar companies. That's happening in Illinois right now. They're selling their farmland.
Yeah, because the little guys, we've been drained of our resources, work, and wealth is not staying in the community. It's going somewhere else, and where it's going is up.
Hey, Steve, what
When
happened?
it goes up, those folks have the money and they buy everything up. So that's why the small farmers, are selling their land.
No.
They're just not making it.
Hey, Steve, I got a thing. We got all this land in Chicago. How come we're not building greenhouses by the parks and all over, teaching young guys, young girls how to farm?
Good question, but I can tell you that it has amplified over the last.
Well, we need somebody like you, Walter, who knows about gardening.
There's elevator farms.
You got to join the others. You know, there's so many people doing gardening now since COVID. It's amazing. They created a group called Austin Eats. In Austin, just
Now,
beat up the green team. And now you got the green team and what's the name of that place, DeAndre? Something Garden, Nairobi or something. There are a couple other gardens. I mean, there are quite a few people doing gardening, but can we have more? Definitely, we can have more.
yeah, but we need a greenhouse for the winter.
Yeah, that's true. We should have a big greenhouse space. I took Barry to a place. They have an aquaponic garden. It's called Garden. What's it called? Garden on Ogden.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I went there
Farm,
before.
farm on Ogden.
Hmm.
Farm on Ogden. Yeah, and
Right.
you know, but they're still limited because you know they can't do. It's huge, but it's just I don't think that big enough to manage it a lot. They couldn't even handle Lawndale. I mean, and it's in Lawndale. I think that's just the reality of it. But
So we should build one at the Mars area.
that would be nice, but man, that would be huge.
No, but not the whole land, but like couple acres.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It makes a bit of sense. Maybe we should bring that up in the proposal. Did they not? I thought they had that in there. Something about that was just a trail.
No, just trail.
It was just trails. Man,
Hydroponics or something.
yeah.
You don't even need soil. You use water.
So wait, let's go back to those 10 things really quick before we get out of here. What do you guys think about that discussion when she brought up the 10 items that were very similar, if not the same?
Can you list them, Steve? Do you know?
Do
you know what they are?
I think I have them written down. She has them written down here. Let me see. Because I thought it was really spot on. Okay, she says, let me see. She has 10 items.
I mean, look what we're doing right now. We're divided and they conquer. Who's making all the money?
Well, that's true.
Very wealthy. It's going to the very tippity top.
So, well, why are we fighting among ourselves?
Yeah, we should not be. We're just hurting ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah, and you got to think about all the distractions and the things that's been brought up. It goes just long enough for another financial cycle to happen, for people to make a little bit of money, you know. So I will say this, and our economic, we're not leveraging the power we do have, and that is like economic power. And learning our economics and understanding these cycles, these financial cycles each quarter, what's actually rising in value and going down in value, and where we are in history as far as economically. We are fighting a lot of battles. And if we could just focus on at least that's probably the thing that would have the most impact, because when you start impacting corporations and businesses in their pockets, then that raises a lot of eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Steve, look at rates.
No, I can't find the actual 10 points written out.
Look at interest rates. People, if they're younger guys, they pay more interest. If you have better credit, you pay less in interest. So people pay more so you overpay. Have you ever seen that?
So when you say younger people do what now? Pay more.
If you don't put not enough money down, you pay higher interest. Let's say for a house.
Okay.
You
Got
pay
you. I thought you were talking like credit cards or something.
no, the credit card is almost like a payday loan. Same garbage. They put you what, 25, 28%. But the housing, you pay more. If you have good credit, you put lower or higher, and you get a certain amount. Because what is it, 15-year or 20-year mortgage?
30.
30, now they want a 50-year mortgage.
Yeah, that's crazy. You'll never
Then
pay it off.
you pay 4 times the amount.
And you'll never pay it off.
Never. 50 years, that's almost your whole life.
That is your whole life. 30, 30 years is your whole life, pretty much.
Yeah, so that's outrageous. Especially colleges, they put you on the arm for if you take a student loan out, you got to pay that too. So how come we don't have more trade schools?
Yeah, trade school. I mean, everything's been. You think about it. Everything's been changed due to due to the new world order. It's been going on for years now.
Yeah, but real talk, the trades will probably be the thing that really survive because there are some things you cannot automate. You cannot automate critical thinking. AI will not replace critical thinking. AI is a tool that you use to enhance the products you produce. Yep, it can help you organize. All of this automation, it can't replace community and the need that we have for one another.
Mhm.
So trades and plumbing and all of those things, those are things you do with your hand. And unless they come and have little robots that's gonna come and build a house or fix your plumbing or run your electric, those things got a while before they become obsolete. So we still need the trades badly, and that's really how Black people were able to advance because we had trades underneath our belt. So we used them to build our lives. So it's
Yes.
it's interesting that we had a wave of where you must go to college, you should go to college. And I'm on the cuff of that if you didn't go to college, it was kind of a little shady. But honestly, if I'm real honest about it, I always wanted to go to trade school. I wanted to do auto mechanic and construction.
Hmm.
Those were my two things.
Nice.
And I don't know why they took construction away because you can't send construction to another country.
No, you can't.
You know, even automotive should have stayed. We're the country with the most cars, probably. I think we are. We used to be.
Look at what's happening now with a lot of people with college degrees, they can't even find a job.
Yeah,
Yep, that's the truth. It's not even, I can't even tell you how much college debt I have.
I got a friend. He went back. He went back to school for 2 masters, and he's 65.
Wow.
He said he'll never pay his debt off. I'm like,
Too
wow.
much.
Mm-hmm.
And, but now they bringing all these trade programs back. They got that Hire 360 training over at Spire. They got a lot of different programs now that are, trucking programs and all kind of things. And it is working to, get these to get folks. And it don't matter, if young adult or older, reinvent yourself. They got these programs and they free of charge and they don't collect any debt. So that's the part. I mean, my whole career was built on trade school, and I I retired from AT&T, and, and went into, went to school for tourism. Guess what? All paid for by AT&T, and so I never had any debt. And, and still, still going strong even at my age, all from trade, because I went to Dawson Skill Center when I was young, and
Yes.
you know, complete a certificate program in technology that got me a job at CNA Insurance, and from there AT&T Communication, and and I mean I didn't pick up any debt, and had gainful employment, was able to buy homes and cars and travel and send my kids to private school, and and I didn't have to pay nobody back, right? Just pay what was in front of me and stuff. So I know the power of trade careers and stuff. And then and then back to construction and mechanics and all these other things, and even painting, and there I know plenty of people. I mean, with you know, that have, retired good off of those trade
That's
careers
right.
and
That's
stuff,
right.
and were able to take, black folks and they were able to take care of their families. And the thing was that years ago, when they took the trades out of the city schools, but see those suburban schools, they kept the trades in they schools. And so their folks are the ones in the unions and things like that, the plumbing unions and electrical unions and all of that. Whereas our kids, they took all the trades out of the local schools, and, and then they pumped that go to college. And like you say, Dr. O, a lot of folks got debt they'll never pay back from going, and college is great, and everything,
Mhm.
but at least having that choice,
Yep.
or knowing of the choice. That was the part. Because city colleges always had trade programs. And I mean, I'm a product of city colleges.
Yeah. Me too, though. Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
I went to city
Well,
college.
Crystal, I think things have changed a lot
Mm-hmm.
since 1980.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think 1980, when Reagan came in, was the beginning of this enormous change where greed became good.
Mm-hmm.
And number one was me, me, me. And I think we've reached the point where it's just not working.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to find a new way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think we need to restart, because in some ways it's going to take a long time to get things to make sense again. There are
Mm-hmm.
just so many things just don't make sense anymore. Like all this debt for students. I mean, that's crazy
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
for young people, they need to learn what they need to know in order to, serve their community and serve their country and serve themselves and their family. And to enslave somebody through debt, that's just plain enslavement.
Mm-hmm. Right,
That's
right.
not freedom.
Right, exactly. And in a lot of cases that debt and default on that debt, hampered people from buying homes too.
Yeah, right,
And that's why,
right.
they talk about, that's something they don't talk about. They talk about the low amount of folks have, homes, in minority communities. Well, if they had all this debt and they defaulted on it, then that's on a credit rating, and they couldn't fix that debt because it was
But
it was just too much.
they changed the rules. That's part of what's happened since 1980. The rules have been changed. And
Mhm.
people used to be able to, one worker per family was able to, keep, have kids and buy a house and, send their kids to school. And now that's become impossible.
Mhm.
There's like a
And, and, and we've become so much more productive than we used to be in 1980 because of all this technology. But where is all the profits going? It's not staying in our community. It's going up, up, up to Jeff Bezos and the rest of the billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
And they changed the rules further, so there's no winning this.
And
No.
another thing, as far
And
as
then
these warehouses, can,
yeah. go ahead.
as far as can I say, as far as these warehouses, things are so high now, and then these companies is only paying these people like $15 and $16 an hour. You cannot afford a house nor a family. These are big warehouses,
Yeah.
just like Prima Seating over here. They're saying they're hiring people from the community,
Yeah.
but can you survive off of $16 an hour for a family?
Oh,
No, you can't.
That's what it doesn't make sense. That's there's so many things that don't make sense anymore.
You know what's
And that's why I think we need to do a fresh start.
you know
Uh,
what's strange about $15 an hour? 40 years ago, people at the post office were making $15 an hour. That was considered 3 times minimum wage, or actually, it was more than that. It was 5 times minimum, because I think minimum wage is only like $3.75 back in
Yeah.
1985. And I remember working at the post office as a casual for the summer, and I was making $5.50, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm making over minimum wage by a dollar and something, you know." And then I looked at the regular workers; they were making like $12 or $15 an hour, 40 years ago. So when you say that, it just sounds so. It's a strange thing, you know, when you're saying we've come that far, where people should be making $30 an hour or more just to.
Yeah.
Or more, you know. I mean, when I retired from AT&T, y'all, 20 years ago. Okay, actually, it'll be 22 years this year. I retired, and I was making $60 an hour. Okay,
wow.
22 years ago. Okay, now I remember when I started my first job. I was working for Social Security Administration, and that was 1978. Okay, right down here where the bat is. Okay, on Madison. I was making $7.15 an hour in
That's
1978.
oh,
Okay,
that was 3 times the minimum wage. 78 minimum wage was like $2.75.
yeah, I was making $7.15. I always remember that. But I
Yeah.
was broke as a joke. Do you hear me? I was broke as a joke. I was one of the first people when Section 8 first came out. I was one of the first people that got Section 8. Okay. I had Section 8. I was making $7.15 an hour. So, I didn't qualify for, any food stamps or any of that kind of stuff. But I was broke. I still couldn't afford a car. I still couldn't afford a house at $7.15 an hour. So I had to go back to school in order to level up. And that's I'd already gone to Malcolm X. And then I got the job at Social Security. And then I quit Social Security and then went to Dawson Skills Center, got into a program, the CETA program at the time, and then they guaranteed that they get you a job. And guess what? They did. They got me a job I went to the program for 6 months, got the skills, and then they got me a job at CNA Insurance. And from CNA Insurance, AT&T hired me, and rest was history. You see, off of that, 6-month trade certificate. At that point, it was called word processing because this is before computers.
Right.
I was the person that typed the guides for the insurance booklets, right, that you see right now today. And then we had proofreaders that read them and everything, because we had text editors, as they call them, because we didn't even have computers yet and
Right.
stuff. But just there's a lot of people, but today, for it to be God knows, all these years later, 50, 40, 48 years later, and it's people out here making $15 an hour, but
Yes,
a house costs $500,000.
that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
a house costs 450K easy, even in
Right.
Austin. And so it's like, so what? Huh?
Yes, but this is still happening. And then another thing, this online application, I don't agree with this because people, they tell you, oh, you go online and do this application. Well, it's just like you doing an application, they throwing it right in the garbage because they don't know you from Adam Housecat.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't never call you.
You never know if they even touched it, looked at it.
That's true.
Right, yeah. So that's it's yeah. So
And it's gonna really be a problem when they say and they cutting this link off. You got to go to work if you however age and this and that. You got to go. Well, where are you going to work at?
right, exactly. And this is happening like next Sunday. They cutting
Right.
link off. I mean, if you 18 years old to 64 years old, you link is over unless you got 20 hours work or 20
Okay, well,
hours with a nonprofit.
where you gonna get 20 hours when I'm just telling you how
Exactly.
you have to go
Nowhere.
online, do the application, and it never
Nowhere.
call you. So how you
Nowhere.
going to work?
You're not. So this is setting up a whole new additional problem, because there's no way all these millions of young folks in
That's right.
Chicago
That's
or
right.
any state, because this is all over the United States.
Yeah.
All over the United States, you got all these people. If you don't have any children and you age, 18 to 64 and you're not disabled, you will no longer get linked.
So how you gonna survive now? I'm going to the job. I'm trying to get hired, and I feel
You won't
application.
get what?
Come.
So how you gonna survive now? Go
Right,
around and,
Ragnarok.
because you can't
No,
eat.
Ragnarok. Come.
What'd you say, DeAndre?
Oh, my bad. I didn't know I was off mute.
Well,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so you got all these people that are going to be in the food lands because they will have no food, none, zero.
right.
If they don't have a job, okay, they will have no food. So I mean, a lot of them probably currently live with somebody, but still, they living with somebody, okay, because they ain't got no job. So
Right.
now all those people are gonna be cut off a link, and then that household wherever they're staying depends on them being able to feed themselves also.
That's true. That's
Okay.
right.
And so now they can't do that. They won't be able to contribute to the household, and
Nope.
that's gonna contribute to more homelessness because
That's right. That's right.
people
Well-
gonna put them out. Now, man, you ain't got no job. Now you can't. Now I gotta feed you too.
Look,
It's gonna be a
crazy.
mess.
Yesterday we went to Sam's, and a guy walked out the back door with a whole cart full of Sam's products and food.
Wow.
The girl you know how they check you with your card? I saw
Yeah.
one girl running outside, and I thought she was getting off work. Then another girl ran out and says, "I'm gonna call the police." And the guy said something. I didn't know what was going on. My wife said he walked out with the whole shopping cart stacked.
Well, you
Yeah.
gonna see a lot of that now. That's what I'm trying to. That's what we saying.
Happening already. We left there and went to Jewel, a whole nother guy. And a kid, a young guy. They were trying to take stuff out the back of you know how Jewel over in Melrose, it has the door, you step on the thing and the door opens. Nobody's back there watching that area. So the guys was kind of maneuver their way back towards there with a cart full of stuff and waiting for somebody to come in so they could hold the door and push it out that back door.
My Lord.
And that was only within an hour. So how how do we see all this kind of stuff going on within a mile of each store, and it's happening within an hour? Two different
Well,
groups.
that's the new job.
Yeah,
Mhm,
take it for
right.
yourself.
Right. And see, and all that's doing is driving up everybody's prices because now they gotta hire another armed security at these doors, okay, to protect their shrinkage, as they call it,
Right.
and stuff. So now again, prices already then went up astronomical. Now they're gonna go up even more because they gotta pay for this extra manpower.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And then when we go shop, when
so
us
rather
seniors
than-
go shopping, they're gonna be knocking us
that's
in the
not
head.
really,
Mhm. Right. Well, I do a lot of my shopping. I still, since COVID, I do a lot of where they deliver to my house and everything. So
That's a good point that you said that because you remember Peapod?
yes.
You guys remember when that came out?
Oh yeah, I remember Peapod.
Like around the turn of the new millennium or something like that.
Right.
And I'm like, they just disappeared before COVID, way before COVID, a few years.
Somebody might have bought them out. I'm gonna Google that to see.
I'm like, Peapod.
Another company might have bought them out.
I used to see my neighbor get Peapod, and I'm like, how could she afford somebody to shop for her? Bring her the truckload of food. I'm like, it just didn't, I didn't understand it. But then, there was really no Uber, there was no Lyft, there was no Uber Eats and all this stuff, So I'm like, Peapod was in front of everything. They even had their own products.
Yeah, and looking, Googling it, Steve, it's still around, but it's just in certain areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough momentum.
Yeah, and it does like certain growth, like probably out. Yeah, I don't know what cities, but like stores, Food Lion, Giants, stuff like that. So probably out in other Midwest, small Midwest towns or whatever.
I had a neighbor. She was, I think Miss Kerber was 95. This lady, get this, my neighbor across the street. She went to Austin High School in the 20s. And I think she graduated around like 20 something, 1920 something. She said as soon as she graduated, she got married. So that's at 18. And she built the house across the street from me. I'm like, how you get out of high school and build a house?
Right, because back then your parents saved money for that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I hear people, I've met people recently, and these are Black folks, okay, that talked about that, and how they managed their household and how they saved money and did different things, got in the stock market, and as each one of their kids left the house, they bought their child a house.
Right.
So, so people,
different
wait, although that wasn't my family, but people did, plenty of, ethnic, people of all cultures have planned for their futures, for their kids' futures, and everything. And we see it all the time. We see it mostly now, in the Hispanic, that we can see out front, because you see how they'll live together and then they'll save and then they'll buy a house and then the next one buy a house, and so that's a true example of it. They all work together, get in that truck and go to work every day, and then have a next year, 2 years later, you see so and so then moved and he got a house, and so it's all planning.
That's how I did. That's how my family did, and that's how we did when we came from the South. We stayed with each other until we got on our feet. We came here, we got us a job. Then when I got a job, then I moved out. I got me a house. Then I started having children. But that's how a lot of people came to Chicago, Detroit, New York, and things wasn't as high as they, what
Right.
is now. You see what I'm saying?
Right, right.
That's how you got buildings and
Mhm.
stores and things back then. You
Mhm.
work and you save your money.
Right, right. You didn't spend it on Jordans and Louis Vuittons
Oh no, no,
and
no, no, no.
weave,
Uh-uh.
okay?
No, no,
I
So,
think it's
these
also harder
these
now
mixed
because
values, right? The nails,
I think it's
no, no.
also harder now too, is because our social supports have been dispersed.
Yes.
We used to work as a family unit
Right. So
regardless.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Pookie and Ray Ray could cut up so bad,
Mhm.
Madea or Grandma or
Mhm.
Paw Paw can put them in place.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It didn't matter
yeah.
whether Paw Paw or
Mhm.
Madea was the best or was the
Mhm.
worst.
Mhm.
You had a level of respect for
Mhm.
That's right.
hierarchy in the
Mhm.
family, and you worked together
Yes,
regardless.
you
Now
did.
Mhm.
you
Yes,
might
you
Mhm.
have
did.
some instances where you can't do that, and
Mhm.
I get that. There was very few and far between. So
Mhm.
yes, it's harder now. I can't go next door and eat at my neighbor's house. Neither
Nope,
can
Mhm.
I send
nope.
my
You don't know
kids.
who your neighbor is.
No, don't
Mhm.
know who your neighbor is.
Mhm.
When we
Mhm.
was coming up, you used to be able to go to your
Mhm.
neighbor house,
Mhm.
eat.
Oh
Your
no,
kids could eat
that
there,
sucks for y'all.
stay the
I
night.
can. I,
Mhm.
I can.
Yep.
Mhm.
See,
Well,
that's
that's
because y'all
good.
don't go out
Mhm.
there and kick it with your neighbors. I do.
No, I kick
Mhm.
it with my neighbors, so
Oh
I know
yeah,
I
yeah,
could do
me
that.
too.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying that the
Oh,
Right.
okay. I finna
dynamic.
In
say like, nah,
general,
y'all
yeah.
Yeah.
tripping.
No,
Yeah,
no,
in
no, no.
general.
You're
Yeah.
supposed to know your neighbors. I get out and know my neighbors. I'm
Mhm.
saying
Mhm.
that the overall fabric of how we used to operate as a community has been broken down.
Yes,
That's
Mhm.
all I'm really
yes,
saying, because I
yes.
do agree. You better get out there. I know my neighbor just shoveled my snow, and guess what I did? I got up and took him a plate.
Okay, that's how you do
You
it.
know, my neighbors
Mhm.
come out the door. If they see anything going on at my house, 10 people calling me. Of course we
Mhm.
need to do that.
Mhm. Mhm.
The thing
Mhm.
is when drugs got introduced into our communities and all of the other stuff, we stopped trusting each other. We stopped.
That's
Mhm.
true. That's true.
We don't have those social connection and the social currency
No.
Mhm.
that
Well,
we used to have.
also, the people are changing. That's where people were more friendly. Now we getting a lot of Latinos, and I hate to say it, who are not friendly. They build up these fences and stuff to keep you out, and you see them on the street, they won't speak. You can't engage them because they won't do it,
Can
and
I?
it's not a language barrier because they know some English.
So
You
I want
know,
to say, so
because
one of the things, we've heard that a lot over here, obviously throughout the city, but in the
Yeah.
15th district. So our district council, that was brought up at one of our meetings, and so we engaged with the city's Department of Immigrant Rights and Immigrant and
Right. G
Immigrant
right.
and Refugee Rights, and they are. Um, we are working on a survey that's going to be administered through the city that they're going to apply to the blocks where we've had issues at in the 15th. And then from there, they're going to host a town hall in English and Spanish speaking to address the cultural differences and try to get folks on the same page. And then us as the 15th district, we're going to take it another step further. And then we are going to do a gathering, a mixed gathering, uh, where we'll have we want to have, and we'll see if we can make it accomplish this. But we want to have both Latin and African American inspired food as well as music, and then bring the two cultures together and try to build relationship that way. So we're taking steps to try to bring them into the community. Um, so maybe that's something that after we execute this, we can come over your way and try to work with the 25th district to try to help get that done as well.
oh, I'd appreciate it because I'm known for knowing everybody on my block. And we talk. You know, we have a telephone tree, but now it's broken down because we've got so many, foreigners in the neighborhood, and the ones that were on the tree, they're dying out, and they, sick. So all that communication has stopped.
That's almost all these blocks like that.
Mhm.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and I try to be open with them, you know. I let them know when, you know, they give out the turkeys like Steve and them did. And, you know, I have a neighbor down the street who speaks Spanish. He's been here forever. I had his daughter to get me a flyer in Spanish, you know, as a news thing, what's happening in the community and stuff like that. But it's not working. Not for me.
It's not working over here either.
See,
So
what I was told is that if you get a minister involved and you do outreach, they will come, you know, they will rally around that, you know.
but Steve, what about that minister that came over
That's
to your
exactly what we
place?
doing. That's exactly what we doing.
What happened with him where he only wanted the church for Hispanics? He didn't want it for everybody. He wanted it
Oh
to
my
rent your
Lord.
place for Hispanics only. Now
Oh
he's
no.
supposed to be a minister.
Uh,
Live across the street from me, right down the street, drives cab. His wife is kind of friendly, but he is not a friendly person. So I can't put that on, you know, the church like that because that's not how it works either. Because they're very clannish. They only want to stick with their own. They don't want to reach out.
Well, it depends on what you mean by their own, because a lot of Spanish speaking people are not from the same culture, you know.
Oh, it's only in their apartment building and their family. They're distinct family
Uh,
members. Cause I see people going over there and socializing with them, but I don't see the neighbor, the Hispanic next
oh,
door
right.
going over there and social. They're so clannish.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, he did want to do something with students or Spanish speaking kids only or something. I'm like, what?
no,
Did
no.
you not realize the community?
Well, he need
Well,
to go back. He need to go back to where he came from. Then that ain't the way it's supposed to be now. We can't have it like that.
Well,
Well,
that was one instance, and then about, man, that was before 2019, wasn't it, Barry? You and I went up and down the block on the 1400 of Mayfield, door to door,
mm-hmm.
and we got a bunch of surveys, and we were trying to give out backpacks. We had over 30 backpacks. We couldn't give out. We gave out. No, we had more than 30 backpacks. We gave out like 13, and the 13 went to 2 Spanish speaking families. The other families, only one backpack went out to one black kid, because everybody else said, oh, we just have grandkids and they don't live here. They don't really need them. We don't, you know. Then we tried to reach out to the Spanish speaking families on that block to bring them in, you know, to help support the block. And we said, well, what about Mr. Rodriguez down the street? Mr. Let's say, I don't know, he has Spanish name also, the other household. He says, I don't talk to him. I don't even know. I'm like, wow. So you don't even create synergy amongst with people that speak the same language, because you're not really creating any kind of synergy with the people on the block. And they said no. And they were having some shootings and things that were going on. And I was like, how do you have your kids outside knowing that these shootings go on?
Who is this with the hemp?
They said, well, Steve, you know that we don't let our kids out then, and it's just the guys over there. All they do is drink. You know, when they get drunk, they get crazy like that. I'm like, but they're selling drugs every day, 24/7. You don't realize that's part of the problem, bringing the shootings. But they just saw this little microcosm of a world, you know. And it made me think maybe where they came from was even worse.
So what
well,
is it with this thing about hemp?
What about
what?
Who's this guy iPhone?
iPhone? That's I think that's Crystal. But what about what's your point?
I just got it in the thing that says about hemp.
Oh yeah, I was putting some flyers in there. Yeah, because I was seeing that Dr. O thing is the 27th, and that's the same day as the candidate forum at Collins. I
Yeah.
put that flyer in there. And then they the hemp vote is coming up at City Hall. Um, and and so there's a big dispute about that. And you can read about that online
Yeah.
also.
No, it's just interesting how things have been kind of translating and changing.
Crystal,
Yes.
were they making hemp rope
No,
or was
no,
it
what it is,
medicine?
there's a whole I don't know if you watch the news, Walter, but there's a whole dispute when they passed the law, passed uh,
Hemp bill.
the to open the government back up. They had thrown in provision to ban hemp to a certain degree, and it was caused by um, because hemp and THC is two different things, right?
Yes, it
If you
is.
don't know that, and so they were trying to really restrict hemp and drinks because some, by being no regulations, some manufacturers were putting hemp in beverages, and the beverages would be like, say, right alongside sodas in gas stations,
Hmm.
and where children may be able to access them. And so they talked about all that, but overall they were trying to restrict hemp as a whole, and that's um basically that's not fair, because the it's not
Yeah.
hemp that's the problem, it's regulating those businesses that are putting it in unsafe environments.
Mhm.
And so they're looking for the mayor to veto it, and because there's companies that they couldn't get into the THC market, and they spent millions of dollars and got loans and everything to
Mhm.
start manufacturing hemp. And this would basically throw all of those, and this is just not in Illinois, this is all around the country, and
Right.
that is going on. It would throw those companies into bankruptcy, and
Wow.
which is not fair. And so like I say, you can Google that too. It's a whole articles everywhere about the whole hemp debate. What's his name? That Congress what's it? I can't remember his name. He the white guy that's in, I think he's in Tennessee. He was the one that was the big advocate of hemp. And but the big debate came because with hemp becoming so popular, say as just a relaxation tool, takes away pain, different things, that
Hmm.
a lot of people stopped drinking alcohol. And
Mhm.
so those
That's what it
Kentucky
was.
bourbon companies, in some cases, they had to lay people off because people are not. Yes, it's been a whole thing. Watching it on the news or reading about it, that a lot of these liquor distributors, they have people stop drinking. Okay, and
Hmm.
which is, and so they are the ones that were trying to get this whole hemp thing shut down because it's affecting they businesses, they profitability and
Mhm.
stuff. So like I say, it's a whole everything. You can Google it and read all about what's going on with it. But here in Chicago, at least from what I've been reading and hearing, it looks like, Johnson may veto it to keep them from restricting it, to at least put it back on the table so then they can see what they really need to do. Like I say, back to putting some regulations on those companies that are, making these drinks or whatever that are, or products, I guess in some cases even candy, right? That are in the wrong environments where where children can access them. That's the piece they need to do and stuff, and then it only be available to people I think it's 21 and older or something like that. So
Yeah, but don't we have a history of hemp for a long time?
Uh, yes
Mm.
and no. Really, no, because I not that I mean, as far as I can remember, um, just what, since COVID or something, when
No,
all
hemp's been around for a long time.
yeah, it has, but it hasn't been available where you can get gummies and all that kind of stuff, has it?
Oh no, no,
Yeah, so that's the thing.
no,
Well,
but
you know what, and come back to thinking about that, Walter. I think you are right because I know my sister. Before she moved to Spain, she was living near Wisconsin, and she could go to like local stores out there and get like hemp gummies, and this is even before they started regulating THC or dispensaries and
yeah.
everything, but they had it out there in Wisconsin, but I don't think they had it here in Illinois where you could get that hemp stuff like that.
No, they had clothing back then.
Oh
Whatever.
yeah, oh yeah, I got a hemp purse, right? From 100 years ago, right? I think they were using right the hemp because it's a very strong fabric, and they,
Oh,
making purses and clothes, and a California thing. You know how California,
and then
yeah,
Yeah,
they use it for the
yeah.
warships for the rope.
yeah.
And then in case of emergency, you go and fire up your purse and smoke it, huh?
I don't know about that. Right, right, yeah. Like I say, be calm, just light your purse up, okay?
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. It
So
was
we
something.
need a weather report. Let me see what the weather gonna be, because that's what we really need to be trying to figure out this week. We got there is an event. There's a meet and greet for Chantel over at DeAndre's, right? DeAndre, where is he? Is he on here?
is
Tomorrow
he still on?
Yeah, 3 to 5.
at 5. Checking the weather for the week, y'all, because I gotta tell you, it's gonna be cold all week, but looks like warming up by next Saturday to 21 degrees. It's still gonna be low 7, but
No.
Is there school tomorrow?
I don't
No.
know.
Hmm.
Just only keep warm, everybody.
Because
No,
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I haven't watched any news today, so probably look at CPS website or whatever.
and we're not gonna get above freezing until till 2 weeks.
Oh God.
Tuesday, not this Tuesday. The Tuesday after
Mm.
next.
Yeah.
30,
Wow.
37 degrees. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, because next Sunday, the first is my pre Super Bowl fundraiser over at
Uh-oh.
Epiphany Center for the Arts over there on Ashland, and
Where
The
is it?
arts? Can you
Uh,
draw?
Epiphany is 201 South Ashland, right there at Ashland and Adams. It used to be the Church of the Epiphany for 150 years,
No,
and that's that big event and art center.
yeah, I heard about it. I've never been there. I got
Yeah,
my
it's beautiful. What you'll see next Sunday. Okay.
but
So it's a beautiful space. Yeah, they have all kind of music, entertainment there. Every day of the week, and people can rent the spaces for everything and anything. Um, so my as I'm calling it a fundraiser. Pre Super Bowl for the to raise money for the kids, that I take on the educational tours to Ghana.
yeah.
And so food, entertainment, um,
Question, Crystal, when is
games,
your next educational tour to Ghana for the kids?
June 15th.
And how long you gonna be gone?
15 days.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, how much
Yeah.
do it cost?
$5,000.
Mm-hmm.
But I raise money. So all the kids that go with my program, last year I took 7 kids and they don't pay anything. I raise the money
Mm-hmm.
for them to go. And so last year was the 8th year that I've done the trip to Ghana. And so in the 8 years, I've taken 14 kids
Oh, great.
to
So
Africa. And so this fundraiser, so this is, I mean, you know, I'm always raising money, but this is the first time my board voted to, you know, do something like this. So we're making a pre-Super Bowl and you know, and it's we got entertainment, and actually they're gonna be playing flag football indoors, and yeah, you know, so just a fun you know, a fun 4 hours, and with you know, like I say, food, you know, the entertainment, the youth will get awards, and I'll have some speakers, special guest speakers, and yeah, so
That's
really
pretty
nice. Go ahead.
good. You're giving them a view of the world.
Oh yeah, yeah, and you know, and it's nothing, you know, of course that can compare. You know, I always say, you know, for a kid to um, go to sleep on the plane in America and wake up in Africa, okay?
Yeah.
And all the kids that have gone, you know, they have all done very well with their lives, you know, because that's what this is about. You know, I do the local tours, you know, because that's you know, my nonprofit is 10 years old, and that's the purpose of it is you know, get the kids, you know, I call it out of their heads and into the world. You know, we go on the local trips to introduce them to careers, you know, so then they can really see what their options are, you know, getting them off the block. You know, I
Oh, that's
founded a
nice.
nonprofit. My grandson was a victim of gun violence. He died right up here on Augusta in Mayfield, okay,
Oh
in
my God.
2011,
Mm,
okay. And
mm.
and you know, and I knew, you know, and as I say, God told me, you know, you got to help these kids,
Yeah.
and because there's a lot out here for them, and but you know, if nobody takes the lead to show them, how they gonna know?
That's
and
true.
and so that's my mission, and I've been doing it, and you know, like I say,
All
raising
right.
the money and making it happen. And so I also do genealogy classes. I have an open house next Saturday at my building at 4952 West Chicago Avenue.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's right there on the Emma Mitz block. And so the open house is Saturday from noon to 3 p.m. And so that open house is, you know, to let parents come in. I'll be sending out emails and put it's on Facebook now, but I'll put it out there again, you know, so the parents can come and the youth can come and find out about all, you know, all the free programs I got. These programs are free. I even got the roadmap program where the kids earn 1,000. Well, they had been earning last year was $300 a month just to come and learn. Okay, just to learn, you know, learn STEM, learn how to build drones, learn mental health techniques, anti-violence techniques. But you know, as we know, with
Big
all
world.
the cuts, you know, now, but they'll still get $100 a month just to come and learn. Okay, and
Nice.
yeah, so yeah, but that's what I do, y'all. Besides argue with Walter.
That-
Well, you love me.
he ain't gonna pay. He ain't gonna pay you for that.
Sounds good. Sounds good for those kids. That sounds really good.
Yeah, so you know, and like I say, my program is free of charge. So you know, and that's it, that's all, you know, and so, you know, I got some dedicated parents that, you know, I do the field trips and everything, and you know, they come, you know, new people come all the time. People, like I say, the open houses, I'll be registering the kids for the slots for the you know, $100 a month earn to learn program and stuff. So you know, and then I got different, you know, advocates, you know, in the community that come out and teach them. about different things. So, because knowledge is power, and then the beautiful part is they shared with their friends and their families. You see, and to see these kids excel, see them stand in school, right, when they were having trouble at first, see them finishing the trade programs, or junior college or going to college, I mean, hey, as I taught my kids, I got 3 sons, and I always told them, I just want you to handle your business. Okay, you ain't got to buy. I never accepted presents from my kids. My present was a hug. Okay, because I wanted them to be able to not be burdened with, oh yeah, I got to do this and do that. No, you handle your business. You go to school. You get educated. You get you a good job, and then guess what? Mama got after that. Mama got airplane tickets and free rent and all that other good stuff, right? Because you either pay now or you gonna pay later, right?
Right.
And that's the reality. And so I put my time and effort in and let them put their time and effort in, because guess what? And we all done seen it. The ones, sometimes, everything is not in our control, right? We can put in the time and we can put in the effort, and we don't get what we want, but that ain't in our will. That's God's will. Okay. It just is not like that. Okay. We're not going to get everything nobody is. It's not, because this is not a perfect world. Okay. Or perfect life. Okay. And everything. But we just do the best we can. And every day we just keep doing it. That's all. The best we can.
That's so true. I agree.
Well, Crystal, good for you. That's fabulous. What you've done all through the years.
Thanks.
So you are the best.
What'd you say, Walter?
Crystal.
He hiccuped.
Yeah.
He hiccuped. That's what he said.
Hey, Walter.
Yes.
That's one of the best things I've heard you say.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, y'all, we got so much to catch up on, and so much we got to get involved with and do and support and follow through with. I just hope this year we all survive it. We all come through it healthy and safe and help each other, so we can towards helping these younger people, because they really need it.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
I think they're ready now.
I do too, Steve. I do too.
Yeah. I think they're all ready. We need to be there to support.
Hey, Crystal, one request of you is that I'd like to see instead of giving you a hug, that they pay the hug forward to someone, and in turn help someone.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So, and that's and that's what these youth do, because they out here every day, they helping they schoolmates, and they nieces and nephews, and they becoming the guides, the guides to the future.
The leaders.
And exactly. And that's what I see of them. Some of my kids, they didn't went into the airline industry, or they social workers, they out at prisons doing peace circles, I mean, I'm like the little proud mama, right? Granny, right? To see, because we all got it hard. Life is hard, okay? And so, so helping them to visualize, and just be stable, and within themselves, and then not beat themselves up. And then, what, to go to Africa, y'all, and then when you see everybody look like you, right? So I don't care, what dimension you are. And, and because, as we know, we got a lot of prejudice within our own race, right? And so for them to walk around and see, all these black folks and they running things, right? And stuff, and they proud, whatever they doing. If they selling bananas on the street, okay, they proud of what they did that day. And and highly favored and believe in strong in their faith, and they are, educating themselves and educating their children, so then they can have a better life. And that helps them to say, I know I can have a better life, and stuff, contrary to all the opposition and discouragement and anything else they may come upon, they know that they can make it,
Right.
because they see these folks ain't got nothing like we got. Okay.
Yeah. We about to wind it down. Wait a minute. Where DeAndre? He left. I guess everybody started calling off because we an hour in, an hour later.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hope to see
Steve,
y'all know Bradley Johnson. They got the thing for Bradley. I put that in on
When is it?
Friday too.
It's coming up.
Yes, this Friday. I guess it's like a meet and greet at Build, to celebrate Bradley getting a promotion to CEO.
That's good.
Yeah. I think it's 6 to 9 or something. No, it might be a little earlier than that, but it's a link in the chat I put so people could register.
Sounds like a plan. Y'all look at the chat real quick if you're gonna grab it.
Yeah, look at the chat for the different stuff.
I see it. I see that. I see.
Yeah, Steve, I know you're going to close out soon, so
Yeah.
I'd like to add one thing to tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Oh, thanks.
Uh-oh. Happy
Steve,
birthday.
I didn't get a chance to sing to you. My.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Hey, old man
Happy
now.
birthday, Steve.
Let's sing. Let's sing. Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday
To you. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear
Steve.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
you. Woohoo.
Stop that.
He say everybody got their own version, huh? I appreciate it.
Okay.
Well, Steve, you in the old man group now.
I know that's right. I used to say when Miss Span was alive and I was younger, I used to say, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be around this organization with all these old people till I get old.
Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord.
I said I'll be a advisory board member or something like that. I'll support them. I always remember that because everybody was old. Everybody was 60 plus.
More than 11,000 flights. Airports empty, and more than 1 million households without power.
Being 25, 26, and 30 years old, all the way up until Miss Span passed, I think I was
the power line in Tennessee.
It just kind of
Taking out this home in
just kind of came
the Georgia, Alabama, and Florida on tornado watch.
Somebody watching the game.
Usual position.
I can't tell who it is because it's on like that. But yeah, I just never, I always said I would support. I always would be a part of the community. And it was a really dark period where people used to come to me, I think maybe 5 or 6 years after Miss Span passed, and they would say, Steve, why are you doing this? You got your family, you got your job, you educated, this and that. And I'm like, what do I got to do with anything? I'm like, I'm here to support. But if you guys come back and support, either giving some time, talent, or some treasure, it would help, but just come back. That's all I wanted. Just come back, help.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a period.
You have been for the community. I can vouch for that. You've been for the community, still with the community.
I remember what? That was when I met you in 2011.
Yep.
We were at a alderman's meeting.
Yes, and I got put out, and I came to Steve, and Steve didn't change no word. He said, "Come on in." He did. I know he did. He really did. And I always tell people that Steve didn't change no word. I walked right on in, and we've been together ever since.
Yeah,
Steve is here. He's here for you.
There was 17 vacant properties on your block, and we went
Yep.
door to door in November. Was it October or November of that
I
year?
think it was October. Yeah.
October, and we went door to door to try to bring the people together on that block with the remaining it remaining 17 because it's 34 properties on the block. And and he did. And I think there's not one empty property. You got
no, it's not empty anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but Steve, I give it to you. You and Butch was out here, and you all brought me all the way out.
Yeah, we did. I remember we used to come. That's when we met Barry. I think Barry started coming around about 2012, 2013 or something like that with the Barry Bucks. Remember the Barry Bucks? Barry Bucks.
Yeah.
But we would
thank the Lord, we still together.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all. We got to do something for Miss Drummond. I'm trying to get with people and figure out.
Yeah, what's happening with that?
I said earlier that you know, she was cremated, and the family is kind of like stepped away from everything. You know, I think they're done as far as what they're gonna do from what I was told. And but you know, that doesn't mean we can't form something to mobilize her, you know, because you know, in my mind, I was sitting there thinking about her after her birthday party, and I said, you know what, I could see her living past at least to 110. She had all her faculties. She was, you know, all she complained about was little money here and there, and her leg, and I mean, and I don't know. Even the leg didn't bother once we started talking about all the issues and what was going on. So I don't know. It just kind of took me by surprise because they said she just kind of gave up, and I'm like, why did she give up? Because she she wasn't in her element, you know. Miss Drummond was used to she was going to work up until she was 97.
What'd you say?
Yeah, every day, you know, she was going to work. So when she stopped going to work, her leg got bad. Her brow probably came down, you know. I used to tell her, I said, Miss Drummond, the only reason your leg hurt, because you ain't putting that knee in their back over there, making them work. That's the only reason. Because she would ask me, what Wanda doing to see? What Miss Root is doing? What's this one doing? They over there, they not doing that. I'm like, they call them now. They don't want to pick up for me. I said, wow. I'll go put a knee in the back for you. I took her on a little tour up and down the neighborhood on her 103rd birthday. She was in the wheelchair, and they said, Steve, can you get her back home? I said, yeah, but I'm gonna take her up and down the block. You know, it was October 13th, so and it was kind of warm. So as I drove up and down one side of the block, and then I took her to the other side, there was a crossing guard there at the street. And I said, you see that name up there? To the crossing guard. She said, yeah. She said, who is that? I said, you looking at her right here. Said, how do you work this street every day and not know Miss Drummond? She said, oh, that's amazing. I never knew. I said, she lives right down there. Oh, that's her house. And she was amazed. But we gotta support and give people, like they say, their roses while they're here.
That's right.
Because I tell you, one thing she had me doing, I would go, if not every other week, she would send me to go get her some Italian beef sandwiches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Miss Drummond, you eating this garbage? How do you 100 and something, you still eating this? And like somebody told me, they say, don't even worry about it, because if she made it this long eating it, it ain't gonna kill her.
Ain't gonna kill her. That's right. And she lived long after that too.
Okay, because she was what, 104?
Yeah, or as she would say, 104 and 4 months. She started
Okay.
counting the months the last 5 years.
Wow.
We count the months. I'm like, Miss Drummond, we talking like the babies. That's a 2-month-old. That's a 3-month-old. She was counting me the months.
Wow, that's
But
Yeah.
it's just kind of crazy and strange for me because I've known her since Miss Spann introduced me to her back in
Yeah.
90, 91. She like,
wow.
I took the organization. This is Miss Drummond. This is Bob Andracy. This is Mr. Bailey. This is, she's starting to introduce, we would always collaborate
Mhm.
to organizing affairs.
Mhm.
I think I met her around, I did meet her around that time.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Wow.
we got to do something and we will.
Yeah, we will.
Various
That's right.
people I got people in California that's asking about her.
Mm.
That they want to know that was really close to her. But
Mm.
I'm just trying to figure it out from the people that's trying to organize this right now. What
You know what, Stephen? A music event at one of the churches or at the Aspire Center, that might be nice.
Yeah,
Like a music concert with local.
They want to have a big enough that somebody said the Caron Center because it's
I mean, that's what I meant, the Caron Center, because I think it holds a lot of people.
Yeah, they want to make sure, but parking, but they'll figure the parking part out. Shuttles, and then people can probably park at Aspire or whatever,
Oh yeah, so true.
Yeah. We'll
And the police station got those 2 big lots and stuff.
Yeah, they said they would try to get shuttle from there. So that might be the place. But yeah, we have to do something because, she was. I saw Governor Quinn, former Governor Quinn, last week at a meeting, and I talked to him and I said, Miss Drummond passed. He said, yeah, I think I heard that. He said, she and I were very instrumental in getting CETA programs and LIHEAP programs, on track, and also the CUB, the what is it, Citizens Utility Board. We all formulated that back in the late 70s, and Ms. Drummond was one of the key people, persons that was instrumental. And I said, yeah, I know. She told the story.
Yeah, I read the story. Danny Davis did a thing in the paper about her. Yeah, he told, it was, a lot of stuff. Of course, I didn't know, and stuff about her, being instrumental in starting a lot of those programs.
Yeah. She would she came to Chicago when she was 1 year old. So she's been here for 103 years, which is still sounds unbelievable to say that. And she would always, I tell you guys, I don't know if I told you this story, but I always go in the office, especially years ago, and she would say, see, she had all these articles around the room with different people and heads of states and all this. And she said, you see me up there with Washington, right? She's talking about Harold Washington. And I said, Ms. Drummond, I see you up there with Lincoln. She would say, get out of here. I'm not that doggone old. If I was that doggone old, I'd be dried up. I said, you said Washington. I said it so much to her, she started telling people, don't listen to Steve. He gonna tell you I was around when Lincoln was around.
That's funny. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Stay warm, everybody.
Yes.
All right. Good night. Good
Keep up the
talking.
good work.
Right.
God
We're gonna
bless
work it
everybody.
together. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, good night, all.
Yes, go.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Bye. See you
All
later,
right.
Gary.
Yeah.
Later.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I could do something. But if you guys get a chance, go and see Chantel at DeAndre's tomorrow.
Who are you talking to? Me?
To you, I guess, or you and Ella, if y'all like to go
Trying to find out now.
that meet and greet.
Yeah.
And so you know what DeAndre's place at Madison, like right across the street from the McDonald's there almost. Yeah.
One of the most dramatic athletic.
Right. See you later.
Oh,
A rock climber.
yeah.